picked up my bear today.
Oh, you did? Good. That was a fun event last night, wasn't it? Pretty good.
It was until my computer froze up and I had to ditch you guys early.
I heard.
Oh yeah, I tested it today just to make sure. The dragons do not drop the dragon trophy. I killed like 3 or 4 of them. So either it's stupidly rare,
no,
or they don't drop it.
There's a chance that you can only get them from deities then. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. Kind of like the Giga Heart can only come from the Alpha
yeah,
Giga.
But the dragon trophy can only come from deities.
I think you could only get the, I'm pretty sure of it. Hey, so Giga, I need you to pull a fast one here. Foe had a Would You Rather, and he didn't put it down, so if you could whip one up out of that terrible mind of yours, that would be great.
I'll stick one in there.
But that's not the first time he said that.
Alright, now I'm gonna look at. Apparently, there's an Extinction Core wiki now.
I think that's been there for a while, but it's not very.
No, this is a different one. This is a different one because it's got like new information on it. This one's updated.
Oh, really? I'll have to take a look at that. Maybe even pin it to the Discord channel.
I'm looking in. Do the Scions of Fire have like some kind of special attack?
Not that I know of.
Because I was fighting, like I can fight Winter Scions and Nature Scions with my dragon, and I'll lose maybe like 30 to 40,000
Yeah, that's
health.
their damage is health.
I was about to say, yeah, I had to use 2 health potions fighting them with my dragon. I was like, damn.
Yeah, the green ones, the nature ones do Torbor. The winter ones obviously do stamina. The fire ones do health. I think that's it. That's it, right?
I believe so. There's only 3 types.
Here we go.
I'm wearing my birthday suit, and I got a luscious blonde wig on.
Don't worry, as soon as I spawn, I'll find more things to kill me.
What the heck is this? It's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm stuck in a cage. Warning. Hey, warning.
Please don't podcast and crap at the same time.
I like to find an area that is heavily populated with herbivores and farm that delicious brown stuff.
Badger has put his big stamp of approval.
Fresh spawns, veteran tamers, and all survivors in between. We'd like to welcome you to Rated Ark, the Ark Survival Evolved podcast.
By the way, this is explicit.
Welcome, survivors, new and old, to episode 61 of Rated Ark, the Rated Ark Survival Evolved podcast. Today is September 16th, 2017. We are CRR Gaming Group hosted podcast, so that means the voices can change each week, but the roundtable discussion will always be about Ark. We have many ways you can contact us, share our feedback, tips, or adventures. You can reach the show by emailing ratedark@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at ratedark on Twitter. You can grab our RSS feed, grab our show notes, apply to join us in-game at crossrealmrebellion.com. And now you can watch us record each episode on Saturdays on Mixer, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, Giga, would you mind introducing everybody for us?
I mean, yeah, I can do that. Today we have Prometheus.
Hey, guys.
Cyber Judge.
Hello.
Me. Goon.
Sleeping already.
Okay. And
I said
OGBobby.
sorry.
Every time.
Hello.
All right. So let's do a loot drop. So, Giga, you want to
Yeah, I
give
gotta
our
scroll
new
back up.
members?
Give me a second. Alright. Our newest members are Thumbot E, Nuzzo, Max ZA, Jazzman, Logant X00, Mora Luna, Vanderla, and Cyber Judge.
Which we didn't include last week.
We not?
But yeah, and he was on the show and everything. He's on
How did
again
you-
now.
How is he on the show and you not introduce him?
We
Oh.
totally didn't introduce any of our new members.
Yeah, we didn't do
last
new
I was gonna
members
say,
last
in
week.
fairness, I didn't even know he was new.
week. So we have some listener feedback, and Bobby's gonna get us started on that.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to some of our listeners who gave us a shout out on the interwebs. Will Patton at Will_Patton. Shane Westphal, Nick Gassner, Chad Flynn at Spidwick22 on September 13th. Tweeted at Rated Art. Hope Miss at Esmeralda Sky comes back. You and at Faux Render are my favorite personalities on the podcast, as well as Goon. Synnistar at Synnistar on September 13th, replying to Rated Art at Faux Render and 2 others. Another great show, guys. Murican Zombie at Murican Zombie, September 12th, replying to at Rated Art. Missed you guys too. I had my tickets to the banana show and everything. And off our website, an anonymous commenter said, "Bring back Lee Harvey."
I think the username was Lee Harvey, right?
Yeah. Well, then Lee Harvey wants himself back.
No, we do. We want Lee Harvey back. We need some of his sour milk there. He needs to come back to the show. And Cyberjudge is going to get us onto an email from a listener.
Right. So this is from Justin. He says, "Hey, I was just listening to your last podcast and I heard you mention Ready Player One. I forgot how I had heard about that book. I listened to a lot of podcasts. Anyways, I finished the book and I have to say it is one of the best books I've ever listened to. Thanks for recommending it. I just have one problem. After finishing it, I was left wanting more. It's rather short. I went on to research to try to find books with a similar genre, or at least as good. I found Armada, I think also written by the same author. Another good book, not as good, but good. Right now, I'm going through the Witcher series, but I'm almost done. Do you guys have any comparable books that you like as much? Please let me know to help me feed my new addiction. Thanks, guys. Especially you, Promo." Again, that's from Justin. And then he says, "P.S. Am I the only one who feels like ArcFat is dying? I've been just logging on lately to reset timers in anticipation for Ragnarok dropping on PS4. It seems the lag is unbearable, making the game, in my opinion, almost unplayable. In any case, have you guys thought about renaming your podcast? Maybe something more general about gaming. It seems from the tone of your podcast that you might have even be losing interest in the game. Not that much passion lately in your podcasts. Not as much as there used to be about Ark anyways. After over a year of talking about a single game, I don't blame you guys."
So first of all, Justin, thank you for the email. That was awesome. The book is great. As for the podcast, we are officially going to be announcing a new podcast. I'm not sure when. Very soon. Esme is in the back cooking it up. She's not able to play Ark right now, so for her participation, she doesn't want to kind of participate in the podcast while she can't play Ark anyway. So we are cooking up a more general gaming podcast. You see some of the rated extras we've done, but we have a more permanent show that we're going to be setting up, and you guys will hear about it soon enough. So that's that. And so that brings us
as far as
in.
the passion,
Yeah.
as far as our passion for the game, I like it as much as I always have. It's just lately, with all the updates and everything, it's just got so hard to play the game. Like he said, with all the lag and everything, it's hard to stay interested in the game that you can't actually sit and play without having problems.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys feel
Yeah, I feel the same way. It
the
was
same way.
it was a bit like a moving target, right? It was kind of annoying to be dealing with some of the changes as they occur, whether it be the flyer nerf or a lot of the other changes. I don't tend to play on too many official servers, so I just had a little bit of a general Arc burnout. But you take a little break, you get away from it, and then you come back, you got some new legs for it. So that's at least for myself. Anyone else got?
Well, I took a break from it until it came out, and now I'm pretty much into it again. I play exclusively on official servers. I'm on Xbox, so that's kind of my experience right now. I have run into like one or two servers that I've had lag with, but I've also played on servers where I haven't had much issues with lag. So I'm not sure what the issue is on that. Because like one server I could barely move. I'd take 2 steps forward and take 1 step back, and then on some servers it played just fine. So I'm not sure whether they were having issues with that server, if it's because of the game or whatnot. But I mean, I'm definitely excited to get back into Ark now that it's been officially released, and I plan on playing it, because now it kind of seems like now or never. It's not like it's gonna have a resurgence after it's been released.
Right. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about that.
Yeah, I had started losing interest with Ark when I was playing on the non-modded servers before I joined CRR. But now I'm playing on the CRR modded servers, and I'm running my own private Ragnarok modded server, and it kind of brought back that interest in Ark, where I'm playing a lot more than I was when I was playing on non-modded servers. And then that expansion pack that they announced got me even more interested. So
yeah, mods will definitely bring like a whole new life to the game. Randomly last night I was browsing the mods and came across play as a dino or play as dino mod, and I had a brief thought. I was like, what if I combine play as a dino with the NPC bush people and effectively kind of flip the whole game on its head, where you have humans that you can go attack and their bases when you're roaming around as a dino. So mods can quickly kind of completely change the entire face of the game without much effort. So I think the game, like I've said it in the past, I think the game is going to really live on through some just really, really great mods. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ark becomes one of those games that some other really large total conversion mod really takes off, and then everyone ends up buying Ark again, or whoever didn't have it, because of some total conversion that just really makes a name for itself and is a fantastic job. Isn't there? I mean, there's a few examples of that in the recent past. I mean, right? Isn't the DayZ an example of that? And there's some other games, guys. Anyone?
Well, I know.
No other games.
Well,
Come on,
kind of that
guys.
player unknown battlegrounds, kind of a whole genre that came.
Bring me
and
that
I heard
PUBG.
the guy that made that, he kind of worked on the H1Z1, and those all came from, well, not the H1Z1, but the DayZ that came from Arma, from that game. So it's plausible that something could come from that game like that.
Yeah, I think so. So moving on, we're gonna do some Scarlet Fury Diaries.
If you're in the mood to kick back and munch on some kibble and drink some old Luminance crazy concoctions while listening to a great tale, you've come to the right place, I reckon. This is the Scarlet Fury Diaries.
Dear Diary, I realized that while I live a well-rounded lifestyle, I haven't ever tried sailing. So, I decided to be a seafaring nomad for a little while. I brought supplies and only a beaver as company, preferring to keep things simple. What I forgot about were those boat-hating whales that live in the ocean around the island. I made the poor decision to sail to Herbivore Island to stock up on metal. My boat was ripped in half by an enormous white whale. 2 weeks of work sunk to the bottom of the ocean, leaving me surrounded by megalodons. My beaver, which miraculously survived, didn't even have a saddle because I'd stored it on my boat. I'm stuck on Herbivore Island with only a saddleless beaver. When I get back home, I think I'm going to just stick to land. Yours truly, Scarlet Fury. P.S. I have a tip for new players. When you go out exploring, take whatever teaming planes you have. I can't count the number of times I've seen my dream team only realize I don't have the narcotics or the drink arrows.
Goon, you were amazing. Thank you. That was awesome. That was absolutely great, dude. Thank you. So that brings us into the Fresh from the Forge.
Gimme the.
So we got some tweets. Brandon Mitchell tweeted at Jat, any info about UWP, which is the crossplay for Windows 10 and Xbox. It's in the middle of September. Just curious. I'd like to host my own server from my computer. Also S Plus for consoles? ? So Jet replied, still working on this, guys. Our tech team were delayed by the weather, but we're targeting later this month. So I don't think he was responding to the S Plus stuff, but I do think that the cross server play, at least, or cross play between Xbox and Windows 10, or I should say Windows 10 Store, is just around the corner. What does everyone think about that?
I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that. Yeah, but a lot of people, because it's something you thought would come when the game was released. I was really thinking that would be right there with the Xbox thing.
They made it seem that way. They made it seem like it was going to be like, oh, this is going to be ready when the game is released. And I don't think that's been the case. So we have Schreiber Judge, who's going to read our next tweet.
Right. So this is from at Nava N or Navin. What kind of merchandise toys would you guys like to see for at Survive the Ark?
So this is strange, right? We do an episode where we talk about like what merchandise was in their store, and like days after the episode is released, you have this tweet. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Goon, you got something?
Oh, I thought you don't have anything you would want to see in there, or?
Yeah.
No. I mean, we discussed it last week, but just the swag that they were selling with the kit. But I guess that kind of goes against the reason you're supposed to buy it.
Yeah. I would like to see some plushies. So the dinos from the game, like the Raptor. I mean, that's the most widely used dino in all their ads. I'd like to see a plushie of the Raptor. You could even have the little girl sitting on top of it. That'd be fine. Maybe like the Jerboa. I think that would be a cute little plushie.
They should remake Furbies into Jerboas. They would sell. They would sell like 1 million of all over again.
For the Otter's pretty cute too.
Yeah.
You're fiending on that Otter, man. I gotta get that in our servers for you soon here.
Yeah, but I'd love to see some plushies. I mean, I'd buy those up in a heartbeat.
And Giga, you had something.
I want dinosaur statues. Like freaking models, dinosaur, like buildable models of maybe like the tech stuff, dinosaur statues, stuff like that.
Yeah, I can do that. That'd be kind of cool.
Is there a site where you can order those? You can actually have a small statue made?
I think there is, but it's only like the T-Rex and then a few other dinosaurs. I want like every dinosaur. Give me a statue of every single dinosaur.
They should all be in the Survive the Ark store in that case. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah, if it's in the dossier, they should have it in the game, in the store.
And Bobby's going to get us on this next tweet here.
Jeremy Steiger's tweets. Hoping to have Ark Xbox update out by the end of the week. Will include some additional tweaks such as being able to build while in orbit cam mode.
That's kind of cool, right? I guess. You guys, so when we call that the K mode, right? That would be their orbit cam?
Yeah.
So you guys haven't been able to build.
And somebody asked if they were getting the Phoenix, and the Phoenix and the Otter will be in that. I'm looking forward to seeing the Phoenix. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
It's a rare sight.
I haven't seen it yet. I've actually gone on Scorched Earth several times to do it, and I haven't seen a single one yet. I don't even have the stuff to tame it yet, but I figured I'd try to look for one.
It only spawns one, right, on the whole server?
No, I don't think that's the limitation on that. I think it's just that they only spawn during heat waves.
Right, but I read that I saw on a YouTube that only one will spawn at a time during a heat wave. They're that rare.
Oh, okay, so only one that would spawn during the heat wave, but not like the only one that will ever spawn on the server.
Right, it's not like
not
the
like
unicorn.
Okay.
No.
I was worried that they might start spamming that concept, like We'll just make it so that there's 20 unique dinos that nobody can get other than one person.
I saw
I
it.
don't mind that.
I seen one during our scavenger hunt.
Oh, you
It's
did?
pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't go.
Man.
I didn't want to go near it because
You
I
were
didn't have
busy.
much. Yeah, but I saw one. We flew past it.
Somebody
It looked pretty
shouted
cool.
out a unicorn on our official. There's no telling if that was an actual unicorn or if it was a trap for somebody, but they did shout out a unicorn on our official the other day.
Man, trolls. That is totally a thing, I bet.
Yeah, PvP on official is something else.
Oh, there's a unicorn here, but I don't got anything to tame it. Come over to this spot. Quick, if you got
No, I
carrots.
just grab some berries. You can tame the unicorn with berries.
Not an official, dude. Come
This
on
morning,
now.
one of my friends left their door open,
you
and some guy ran in there and knocked everybody out and stole everything they had.
That's pretty funny. All right, and Goon's gonna get us on our last tweet here.
Yeah, it's from Wildcard Chris. Says, I just rolled out an update for our Survive the Ark Community Android app. Be sure to update when available to you. Now, if anyone's ever downloaded this app, I don't know, it's just for the Android. I don't know if they have any plans for making it for the iPad or iPhone or anything like that. Any Apple products.
So what does this app do?
Basically, it's like a forum. They have, it shows the latest announcements. It does patch notes. If you have game suggestions, you can go there into it and do the same section. If there's any bugs, that's a place to report your bugs in the game. And it's also broken down, for what system we use. So either PC, Xbox, or PS4. You go into that area and you have the news specific to you, or if your bug specific to your system that you use. It's a nice little.
It's basically the Survive the Ark website, but in an app form, so that you can easily do it from your mobile device. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And you said you liked it.
Well, now I read somewhere they had the new thing where you could get an alert from your tripwires, like they had said before when they tried to do with Dodo Decks. Aren't they doing that with that app now?
Yes, they are. They've been doing it since I started playing because I had it installed for a while, and they have a taming tab, and you can exactly like the Dodo Decks, you can select the dino you're taming, and it'll tell you what it needs to tame it and all that, and how long it's going to take.
They ripped them off. They just made a clone of it. Like
yeah, I can take a screenshot and send it, but it won't help. I can put it on our Discord.
No, it's not. Yeah, whenever you get around to it, but that's too bad to hear that they either hopefully they worked with them and just said, here we'll give you money for what you have here. But maybe they're the ones, the makers of all this data. They could easily put that stuff together, right? And it would be accurate every time, so long as someone did the job right.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm putting it up on Discord, a screenshot of what it looks like. But continue on, and you can look at it when I get it posted.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to patch notes, and lucky for everyone, patch notes are a lot shorter these days. But upcoming version 2.6.9, which dropped just 2 days ago, I think. It didn't make the date that they had believed, which was going to be September 8th. But supposedly we have a tech sword and shield. There was a big Ragnarok update, and True Sky memory fix yet again. So I have to say the skies look pretty amazing in terms of just like, here I want to snap a photo, but when the sky is so foggy that you can't really travel around, that those things start to get a little annoying. Or when it's like such a huge downpour you can't see in front of you.
Yeah, but like I was telling you, noticed yesterday, when the storms roll in, it starts raining. If you look up, the whole sky is gray with clouds. When it stops raining, if you watch, you can see the clouds disappear and go into a blue sky. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It looks pretty damn good, and I see why they were like championing this thing since the beginning. They've given up on all the other ones. The DirectX 12 stuff seems to have gone away. The dynamic length bridges, that's gone away. Like, there was all those things that were just kind of lingering around forever, but the True Sky, man, that thing has stuck around, and that they were determined to make that one work, and rightfully so. It adds to the immersion. It really it looks fantastic, but it's annoying as hell. And that brings us on to the Xbox patch notes.
Okay. On the Xbox, the current version is V760. New expansion Arc map Ragnarok and new creature the Griffin. In order to access the map in single player without Ascension, use player command, all one word, space ascend 2 while in your single player island save. In boss and Ascension, official system anti-duping system, that is a pain in the ass. And PC equivalent fixes up to B266. Check PC patch notes for more details. Do y'all know anything about that?
Anti-duping. What is this?
Okay, so basically, I don't fully understand it yet, but from what I've seen is you have to have something in your inventory for a full 30 minutes because apparently every 30 minutes the game saves. So basically, once it's been in your inventory for 30 minutes, the game verifies that you've had that. So then it's available to upload. So anything you have to upload, you have to hold on to for 30 minutes before you can upload it.
How is this stopping duping? Do you get how that relates?
I don't have a very clear idea of how to actually dupe. I've never done it myself, but I guess since there's such a time for the servers to save, that's the server is basically saving one instance, so you can't really dupe that item because by the time the server saves again, it somehow or another you can't dupe that way. I guess
that makes sense, right? So if they do a manual save every 30 minutes, they probably have some system to say, okay, what's in the obelisks right now? And they could then possibly correlate that with an understanding of how things are moving from one server to the next, because that's how most of the duping was working, right? When it was usually related to the obelisks and
I think what they were doing was they were like taking the servers down. So basically, like you load everything up into the obelisk, the server will go down, then when it reverts back to its previous save, everything that was there is still there and not in the obelisk. So I guess that's how that's kind of stopping that.
I see. So they've basically said anytime someone tries to DDoS the servers and force them to allow them to do this duping glitch, they'll just roll back at up to 30 minutes each time, preventing the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess that sounds effective. We worked through it, and I think that's got to be the most accurate depiction, because based on what it's happening, I remember 86 was talking about how some of it was working and the DDoS stuff. So yeah, that kind of fits.
Seems like it's kind of a band-aid, but and
that's
obviously
tough,
it's really.
I mean, so think about it. You're a survivor, obviously, who's not doing that, right? And then somebody else goes and you got to tame down. You start doing some long project, basically in Ark, and then somebody goes and DDoSes the server, and then there's a rollback of 30 minutes, and you may or may not even be doing the thing that you were doing 30 minutes ago. I mean, like, that almost makes the game unplayable in a few levels, right? When you think about it.
Yeah. That's originally why I stopped playing and before the game came out, because it seemed like everybody was duping and the servers were just going down constantly. So it was just no point in playing.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a chance that anything could save this game, I guess getting servers running, unofficial servers on Xbox Live and PSN would probably be the most important thing, if you think about it, right? I mean, gosh, you really can't play the game when somebody else has the ability to affect the server that much.
But now cross-server raids really have to be planned out because you have to wait 30 minutes before you can do anything.
Oh, that's true, right? And that's each item?
Yeah, each item.
So you could put only one item in at a time?
So, from my understanding,
hold on to it for 30 minutes and then you could put it in there.
Yeah, you have to hold on to it. So if you fly a bird there, if you take that saddle off, you can put the bird in the obelisk, but you're gonna have to wait 30 minutes before you can put that saddle in there with it.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
So you have to go with an extra saddle just to upload.
Oh my god. All right, I guess we'll. Go ahead, Goon.
What is duping?
So they're just making duplicate items. So they'll say that you have. Usually, it's one of the most expensive metal things, right? They do it with large metal items.
Especially tech stuff.
Yeah. So basically, the idea is that you'd say take a tech foundation, right? And because the mats are so expensive, they would put one up in the obelisk. They would do a DDoS to the server to make it basically crash. And I think the issue is that the rollback would go back only a short amount of time, and then they would still have the one in the obelisk and then the one in their inventory or something. And they would effectively be able to go to the obelisk and get whatever items they were leaving in there. So doubling their items within, a short time frame.
Do you dupe dinosaurs?
They dupe dinos too.
Nice.
From what I understand, the duping stuff was pretty bad. So somebody would get some really, really badass Rex or something, and they would dupe the shit out of it, and suddenly now there's 50 badass Rexes.
The Gigas though, duped Gigas.
Yeah, duped Gigas, all of it. But we could talk about that more in main topic. And we got Giga up first.
I want to see. Hold on, real quick. Going back to the whole duping thing.
Yeah,
I want to see some tribe with 50 perfectly tamed 150 Rexes, not Rexes, Gigas, try to rush some dude's base and him just fire a single rocket, trigger one of the Gigas. That Giga starts attacking the other Gigas, which trigger those Gigas. And just a chain reaction of enraged Gigas. I want to see it. But as for the main topic,
So the main topic is you get hired as the creative director of ARK, and you have complete creative control over the game. You get to dictate what the company works on, how much they fix, what they do, whatever you have control. What do you do?
Honestly, I'd probably start with figuring out a way to merge the best of every single map into one super map.
Ooh, I like that.
And then
I really
maybe
like
have
that.
multiple islands that are just with a big ass ocean in between them. Which leads into the second part of this is that I'd make bigger and better craftable boats and ships. If you look at something like the Conquer the Seas mod, that's basically what I'd want.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've really done a disservice to as much water they have in the center, in the island, in Scorched Earth. No, just kidding.
Oh, y'all didn't know about the Secret Ocean and Scorched
The
Earth?
Secret Ocean? Yeah. So, they really, I mean, all they have is the raft, right? And they tried to, then they made the motorboat, which is literally a metal raft. It's wait a minute, you could at least have made a boat-shaped thing. I mean, for fuck's sake, I got a jetpack on my back that can shoot me around the freaking map, but I can't make a boat? It seems a little silly at this point. They should have a little bit more. I mean, make it like a drop-in-place thing. You drop and the whole boat is right there, just like the raft was. But it seemed like a lost opportunity to me.
But not only that, I mean, just to get the number of black pearls to make it on an official server, my lord.
And it's not even worth it. It's basically a mod that we've had forever, where you could just go backwards on your motorboat and it goes a little bit faster.
Well, it goes fast enough you don't get hit by whales.
Yeah.
And I think you could put more, when you're building on it, you can put more.
Oh, can you build more on it?
I believe it has more spaces on it.
You just figured you'd be able to build a ship by now, a canoe, something, build
I think
on
Primitive
it.
Plus has a canoe.
Yeah, again, a mod that, went a little more official on it, but, they could have definitely done something a little more.
Yeah, let me get a massive trading ship.
Yeah, that would
It doesn't
be cool.
even have to have buildable spaces on it. Just make it a thing. Make it a dinosaur.
The merging the maps into one world, I definitely like that, right? To me, the maps seem a little small, to be honest, and I feel like they could be bigger, but after seeing the end game content, it fits within the realm of what they were saying in the end. So I won't no spoilers, but yeah, it makes sense that they're smaller. But I think with our Extinction Core cluster, just the way you move from one server to the next, it kind of makes it feel like that. You have a very small wait because you don't have to reload your mods. You don't have to reload anything that's
like
not,
a second or two.
Yeah, so it doesn't take very long. And with some server optimizations, which I'm hoping to get done soon enough, I think they could even be made even a little bit shorter. In some ways, at least for the cross arc stuff. Yeah, but it kind of really bridges the gap, and I really like the whole concept after when you really look at it. How imagine if they suddenly came out with 5-6 new maps that just here you go, here's 6 new maps, and then you start really linking all of these servers together, where you have 10-12 servers to choose from, and they're all different locations, and they really start to feel like they're part of the same map when you can go between them so quickly.
Providing that you don't have too many engrams learned with all the extra mods, and then you can't load in because you crash out.
Yeah, well, we got to the bottom of that. A little mind wipe helped and fixed that up. So, but I'm not even entirely sold. A lot of what I was reading was based on, somebody just posting on Steam forums or something. But it could be, a mod that you had learned that an update happened, and for whatever reason, you had it learned and I had it learned. Anyone who had to take a mind wipe had it learned, but when they changed the mod, it messed with the Ingram, and suddenly now you really needed to just be able to relearn it. So it's tough. I mean, you got a lot of this untested code with each other. You're right.
Right.
You as the developer would know more than anything. I mean, it's basically a miracle that most of this stuff works together, right?
It's true.
Is that all you had, Giga? You're done?
Yeah, that's about it.
I made it pretty simple as well. I understand that what they do there is actually probably not a very easy thing to do at all. But if I was in charge, I'd think that they should spend a lot more time doing dino animations, and that would be mostly including their idle animations. I think that that's really a lost opportunity there that could really up the immersion. There's nothing that sticks out more than like a frozen in time trike that basically just swings its tail back and forth over and over again. That really just wrecks the whole immersion of the game. I think that they should build more like dens, like have placeable things that become dens that the dinos go, and it would further build on the garages or whatever people make, the dino pens. If there was something placeable that kind of made it their den, imagine like a nest for birds, and if you put them down, I know there are, in fact, mods that do that, and it kind of makes the immersion of the game come back, right? It things go back to certain places. You go and you land your bird, and it automatically goes and flies into its coop per se. I think that's a really cool immersion type mechanic, and it makes it feel like the creatures are a little more realistic, and maybe that's where the only time where the birds lay eggs or whatever. Anyway, that's what I think is better dino animations all around. I think that they should be forming deals with the best mods to become integrated into the game. And if I was in charge of that, I'd probably focus a lot on that. I know that a lot of rumors have been around that, but if you're a little more public about, why you chose to take a mod and make it actually become part of the game, to me, S Plus should be integrated into the game, and it should just be an option that's turned on. And this would reduce the Ingram duplication that S Plus brings. That's one of the things I'm a little frustrated by at this point, is the number of Ingrams that S Plus duplicates. And if you just left only, choose between native S Plus parts or, S Plus additions, and say you call that the double door or the extra large walls, right? You can just make it so that the, just the parts that you don't get in the base game become part of it, right? Because once you have the S Plus demo gun, you could just pick anything up. So suddenly, a regular part is no different than a vanilla part is no different than an S Plus part. They look a little different. Actually, I like a lot of the S Plus parts better. I don't know about anyone else, but
I agree.
yeah, right. I mean, the S Plus parts actually look a little more appealing visually, which is strange to me. But I guess an individual person focusing on one thing is a little easier to deal with. And then the last thing that I had on mine was I think they should really start to focus on some mini game. One of the things that GTA 5 really does well is you can't create this fantastic sandbox without throwing in some toys to play with. So I think if they focused on mini games or event-based game mechanics, I guess if you want to be a little more descriptive about it, but allow people to set up events without having to be so extremely creative with building parts and maybe make it so that have race mechanics built in, and obviously all these things are in some way or another in a mod. But I think that would be really really cool if some of those event-based things. We did an event at the Coliseum server on our Extinction Core. I'm pretty sure most everyone here played in it. We did jousting on the Equises, right?
Yep.
Like, we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. The jousting is like a taste of that mini game type thing that I'm talking about here. Give us tools to make games happen. And I think that the game itself, Ark, will live on a lot longer if they do those kind of things. Because again, this is a sandbox game, and your ability to make fun is really what keeps the replayability up once you've kind of finished the content of the game. And that, including mods, kind of bring you to, something like a Skyrim, where it's a game that's, obviously that's not a sandbox game, but Skyrim has lived on well beyond its years because of mods, and so much so that they were able to re-release the game and resell it with an HD upgrade, and it actually saw decent sales again. So I think that is what Ark should, or Wildcard should be focusing on mostly. If nobody's got anything to add, I'll move it on to Cyberjudge.
All right. So the first thing I thought of actually came from playing before, and when I was into breeding and various things like that, and that was add some additional mobile app features to allow for things like managing your farming and crafting and feeding while you can't be in game, like providing care for your dino, your breeding dino, your baby dino. I know, like, even last night we were talking about the baby bears, and it was 11:30 my time, and it was going to be an hour and a half to be that I would have to provide care, and I wasn't going to be up that long. It would be nice to be able to just go into an app and do like a mini game or something on the app to do the care and get the imprinting that way. I know there's been other games that have done those sidekick type apps, and
that would actually be a really cool way to bring the game out, right? Like, what if there were ways that you could defend your base while you're not at it, at the PC, or ways that you could feed your dinos, or ways that you could harvest resources. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And then one other thing, and I know we talked about the taming rates on official servers and things making it very grindy and stuff, but having official servers that are more geared for a casual player, where you gain experience faster, the taming times are reduced, and breeding time, like everything's basically reduced, just so that you don't feel like you have to be on half a day to accomplish anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's strange that they still haven't really made a lot of that stuff easy. I guess I would add in mind, open up the damn taps and let the game play.
Yeah. Well, or have the option if you're one of those type that likes to be on a lot and you don't mind the grind fest, you should still be able to have that option. But even like you look at games, MMOs like WoW, where they have servers that are for PvP, servers for PvE, and then they have the roleplay servers and stuff like that, where they're all geared for something different. What's to stop the same thing on Arc, where you have your PvE and your PvP servers, and then you have your quick team PvP server, quick team PvE servers, what have you.
Yeah, I just wonder if they would get abused is really the thing that I probably might be worried about, you know?
Right. Well, what do you mean, like using the Arc transfers and stuff like that?
No, I mean more like experienced players who probably should be on excuse me, more experienced players that should be on a I guess a more normal rate
right
map, you know, like what's the define, like maybe if you put in a certain number of hours you get automatically upgraded to a different set of servers versus someone who doesn't. I mean, that's a way you maybe think about it.
Yeah, well, I think about
with the griefing.
I think about it more for myself as somebody who only has maybe 1 or 2 hours in a day to sit and play, and I don't play every day because of family obligations or what have you. So it'd be nice to have that. Well, we get them on private servers, but to have that in a unofficial server would be nice.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that unofficial will always bring is this game is not reachable by a very large majority of its players. I mean, who has time to put that many hours in the game?
Yeah, I honestly play official right now because it just seems like it's kind of a thing that's only going to be around for so long, because I mean there's only so many people that have that time that they can put into the game to do, because like you said, like you'll get on for 3 hours, you know, maybe that's somebody's whole gaming time, but you know, maybe you can only take one thing doing that, or maybe even not even finish building a wall in 3 hours, you know, the way Arc is. But it you know, it is kind of unfortunate that, you know, some people would have a better experience on a player dedicated, but that's kind of a harder thing to find. You know, when you just start the game, you don't think, ooh, let me find a player dedicated. It's like, let me jump into official.
Yeah, and official is brutal, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I really think if they open it, I mean, how many of you guys would agree if they really just made the rates a lot more? Like right now, they're doing 2 times rates now, right?
Yeah,
and so that's 2 times.
Even
what
2 times makes all the difference, because now that's all everybody in my tribe is talking about. Let's do everything now, because any other time it's like such a grind to get it done. So if we don't get it done this weekend, we're basically gonna have to wait till next weekend, and you know, in between time we're just kind of slowly grinding it out, doing everything else we can do. But you know, that 2 times really, and that's just 2 times. Like if they do something like y'all were talking about, like maybe a 5 times or something, and even if it was on a different cluster, I mean, I think that would, you know, open up the game to a lot more players.
Yeah, it's definitely too restrictive, right? Go ahead, Goon. Sorry.
Well, you know, most games offer like a hardcore version, or the players take it upon themselves, where, you know, once you die, you're done. You got to start back over. I like to see a couple servers do this. You know, when you die, you respawn back at level 1, you lose everything you made. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Mode. There's a hardcore mode. There is a hardcore mode that you basically do that exact thing. That if you die, you die. You have to start over again. You get 1 life in the game.
Okay, see, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, there is a hardcore mode. I know that I can enable it on my servers. I've seen it.
On your single server?
On my single server. I'm pretty sure if you browse the officials, there are hardcore servers there too. But I'd imagine those are desolate wastelands that nobody plays. Because the game is just too hard to be that hardcore. I don't know that anyone could.
Well, then, you know, I know no one's going to keep playing it, but I'm sure a lot of people like to try it one time to see how far they can get.
I mean, could you imagine the alpha in that tribe? If you actually made it to the point where you had like wyverns and tech gear, and I mean, that's basically an impossible task.
Yeah, and one disconnect makes all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, and so if the game was flawless like that, like you never get glitched through the floor, you never died from a mistake, you never had rollbacks, or then maybe that's possibly achievable. But with a disconnect, and you're on your bird, and suddenly you fall into the water, and all you gotta do is be eaten by a shark. You know what I mean? Like, or drowned, which is the more likely scenario. Once you're trying to log back in, by the time that happens, you're dead.
Well, as a creative director, this would already be taken care of. It would all be fixed first. As the creative director, I would make sure it would work right first before we had all this other stuff. I guess I should have put that as my first thing. Make sure the crap runs good. And some other things, I like to see, just try, some crossbreeding between species. I love the mad scientist thing. I think that would be fun to try,
Crossbreeding. I think that would be cool, right? So if there were dinos that are kind of similar, like a parasaur and what the hell is that new one? Come on, somebody help me out here. The new one that stands on two legs. We all know what we're talking about. That one.
What that stands on two legs?
The new one that's kind of like a parasaur, but stands on two legs instead of.
You mean the iguanodon?
There you go. That's it. So you imagine you could start crossbreeding things like that. I think that it would be really cool if they really made it so you can not only crossbreed but actually get some more benefit out of crossbreed. I've done a little bit on the private server.
Let me get some Jurassic Park shit going on.
Yeah, like let me get some really super strong dinos. If you have,
I want a T-Rex that shoots the Dilo spit.
There you go. Sorry, Goon. Go ahead. You're director.
I like that kind of stuff. It'd be kind of fun. It'd be in your single game, so you don't have to worry. You don't want to be in your single player game. That way, it's not attacking everybody in that way. But it'd be something interesting to put in the game, And I'd love to hear from our listeners, stuff they would do if they were the directors. If you get a chance, send us an email. At ratedarc.gmail.com or tweet us at ratedarc. We had one listener write in. His name's Fo, and he wrote in. He wrote in, and he wrote in talking about things like more things to do for PvE raids, instances, human NPCs, and tribes that have settlements and that raid your base. He said PvP for me has gotten old. But I played the games like WoW and Destiny for years, searching for loot and running over content. So, but thanks, Fo, for writing in on that. We appreciate it. We still like to hear more from other people.
A small wedge of cheese to go along with all the wine.
So that brings us into tip time, which I don't have a sound for. That is not good.
All right. I'll do a sound.
Here, I got some. There we go. We'll reuse that one. Tip time.
Just the tip.
There we go. On the fly. Cyber Judge with our first tip.
So this is for starting off players, and basically, it's simply don't be discouraged when starting to play the game. You want to work with others to start understanding how to survive on all the maps. Some maps have different difficulties than others, but you still want to work with others to kind of understand the game better. You may want to watch live streams or Let's Plays to see how others have moved up in the game. Playing Ark as a new player will not be easy, especially on the official servers. Be patient, bring friends when possible. And for those who were like me, and just hang on a second. For those who were like me and just a listener of the podcast, I actually highly recommend joining the Cross Realm Rebellion group, signing up, and it'll allow you to be more involved, or any other gaming community you might be interested in. I'm just saying, join the Cross Realm Rebellion. That's the one I've just been enjoying the friendship with. So Ark was almost at an end of life for me, but since I've joined CRR, I've had others to join in on raids, and get to do things I never got to do when I was playing by myself. So it definitely reinvigorated my interest in Ark, and it'll probably make things easier for those starting out.
Yeah, I mean, how much of the game content we experience last night that you just basically had no chance at playing? There was no. I mean, the amount of things that I was putting into the tribute was insane. I mean, nobody has time to gather all those items, and it was if even if it was just killing one of each of those things. In every instance, we needed all of the artifacts, and I get it. They don't want you to blow through the content in one night, but most people don't have more than that. Like I'm not quite sure where they understand their game lies. So I don't know.
And if
y'all want to talk about being discouraged, let's talk about what I just learned about Extinction Core's new end game. Freaking apparently, to get to the primordials these days, I'm gonna have to 1. Beat a deity, 2. Farm deities and bosses for boss trophies.
Yep.
Which I kill like 3 to 7 bosses a day on the Extinction Core server, and I haven't gotten a single trophy.
Yeah, you got to get them from the deities. I'm pretty sure I read
and
that.
the bosses. Apparently, they drop from the world bosses too.
Let me see if there's a setting I can do to increase it. But
I was gonna say yeah, because like I'm reading about it, it's like, dude, I don't have time for all this. Plus, you got to do the tech cave 3 times to get to 150.
Yeah, and if I didn't go in there this last time, I did the middle one. If I didn't go in there with a fully augmented prime tech, I mean, I did it soloed basically, not even with a dino. Yeah. It did make it a little easy, but it is a sheer achievement to complete that. If anyone ever completes it unofficial, it's just an amazing amount of coordination and teamwork and effort for a very little reward. No, I'm just kidding.
Working on it. Official only, man.
5 more levels?
I can't believe it, man. How far you guys play with 86 and stuff, right?
Well, 86 is kind of busy right now. I think he had some stuff happen with his basement. But we have
right, but
some.
You play his tribe and everything.
Yeah. But so we've kind of had setbacks. We've been attacked by griffins constantly. We've moved a few servers. We're kind of just starting to get on our feet right now. But yeah, hopefully we can set some alliances up and get to where we need to get.
That's and you guys were close to tech or something. You guys were
oh no,
bosses
on Legacy we had tech. Yeah. No. Yeah, Legacy we were there. It's just basically with the new cluster you start from 0.
Yeah. So you guys already left your Legacy servers.
Yeah.
See, that was a perfectly defined plan, right? Just put the word Legacy on every server name that was old.
Once you put Legacy, it's like nobody wants. Yeah, nobody
wants. That's all you had to do. That's how you fix the problem. The servers wipe themselves. Thank you very much.
I'm sure some people do play because I am like in a Facebook group that has Legacy. People are still trading on the Legacy Facebook page, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it'll just slowly diminish, and
especially being that Ragnarok is on the new servers, and that's the problem we had.
Oh, Ragnarok only appears on the new servers only, right? Because
I think isn't that I haven't actually looked to verify that, but in my
even if it wasn't, most people haven't established on a Ragnarok server yet.
Yeah,
so.
In my experience, the tribes that killed us with griffins and was just. It was a bunch of people that came from Legacy servers, like saying we're gonna own this server. So they come in force and they basically run the server.
I feel like I might be the only one that doesn't really like Ragnarok all that much.
Yeah, I think you are, because I liked it.
I mean, I like some of the artifact kind of like sites, the pillars or the I guess it's a lighthouse or something like a lighthouse. Those things are really cool. Those things are cool. They look nice. I even like the way they did the wyverns and stuff. But there isn't enough land that you could actually just walk on without it being ridiculously difficult to fight for your life.
And the way that they haven't finished the map is kind of weird because it's like the bottom right half.
I'm just saying, promo. I was wandering around for a while in a giant field filled with horses. Well, I don't know where you're spawning in Ragnarok, but
I was spawning in the areas that say easy, and they were not easy.
Yeah, don't spawn there. Don't spawn there. Spawn in a giant field that has nothing but horses in it.
I'll give Ragnarok another shot. And Goon has an alpha tip for us.
Yeah. It's not much of a tip. I just, don't take this game too serious all the time. Sometimes you just gotta do things that are fun. Just dodo bomb somebody, Came a bunch of dodos, like 40 of them, and drop them in somebody's base. It's funny.
That is pretty funny.
Or, you could show up to a boss fight naked on a horse with a slingshot. Just remember to have your gear in your arm.
That's an inside joke right there, right?
Yeah, that's what I did last night. It was a lot of fun.
No.
And then,
see, that's when we have the most fun, right? When we just, you forget the grinding. The grinding's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, just
grinding is life.
Sometimes you guys got to get together and just do something, just for fun.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. And we got a tweet at Rated Art from Foe. His was, don't be afraid to move on another tribe or server. If you're not enjoying yourself, you can always rebuild, get new dinos, etc. So, thanks, Foe, for that tweet.
You don't even know who you are.
All right. I think we're moving into last call. Last call, and we're going to have a...
What the shit? I died.
There's our last call. All right. So, let's see. Who wrote that? They didn't write their name on it.
I can read it. It says, shout out to Esme. We miss having her around, and our hearts go out to her as her PC has taken a dump.
Yep.
I think she wrote that.
She probably wrote it.
She was updating the, Wow.
Or the best version of a penis.
There we go. Now we're getting pretty close to our, I guess, most famous segment.
Are you calling Chuck Norris a liar?
Would you rather?
Oh, it's a humdinger. Oh wow.
Would you rather?
Holy what?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so weird.
No, let's not go there.
Why did I ask this?
Oh my goodness, no.
Would you rather? Would you rather?
Would you rather? All right, Goon has a would you rather for us.
Yeah, since Foe wasn't able to write in on this one, mine's not as good as his gets, but I'll give it a shot. It's like, now, would you rather have sandpaper hands or your nose be 100 times stronger than it is? So every smell in the world is 100 times stronger than it. So if you smell a slight poop in the air or if someone farts, you smell it 100 times more than anybody else.
So hyper smell or sandpaper hands. I'm gonna go out and say I feel like my hands are sandpaper already. So
yeah, so no mods. No matter, you can't wear gloves. You can't cover your hands up. No matter what, you're gonna have to have sandpaper hands.
Sandpaper hands. What grit? What grit sandpaper are we talking here?
We'll go with like 20.
Oh, we got like boulders.
Yes.
Oh man.
We'll go as high as 60.
I guess if I had to choose one, then I would go for the hyper smell. Then, like, because that could be like you're like a superhero. You're like
You can monetize that.
You're like the Superman of of smelling.
You'd never go into a public bathroom.
Oh man.
You'd never make it through a perfume section at a store.
You modding it? I mean, this is not. You could just put some nose clips on and just fucking. I mean, that's not even a mod. That's just life, right? You could just. You know those ones you get for if you're one of those people that swim a lot or whatever. Just pop one of those bad boys on. You going into someone's place really smelly, breathe out your mouth, man.
I don't know. It still might get through.
It still might get through.
It's 100 times stronger. I mean, 100 times.
All right, Cyber Judge, sandpaper hands or super smell?
I'm gonna say sandpaper hands. I don't think I'd do well with super smell, especially when I'm changing 2 diapers regularly in a day.
Have you ever seen 20 grit? Let me see.
No, but I don't think I could handle super smell.
I'm googling a picture of it right now so that we can I can put it in the show notes so that everyone really knows just what 20 grit looks like. All right, here we go. And there's your hands. It's like boulders in cement. Pebbles, maybe pebbles in cement.
I'd find a way to deal with it.
All right, Cyberjudge's got sandpaper hands. Gigabyte, what do you got?
Sandpaper hands.
Sandpaper. Nobody wants the super smell, huh? Just
Nope.
me. Super smell. I'm all super smell. Bobby, what do you got?
Telling you, super smell. You can monetize that some kind of
there
way.
We go. Team super
Yeah,
smell.
but then everywhere you go, you gotta risk it.
I'll
Just
build
get
up a
used to
tolerance
it.
for that money.
There you go. All right, Goon, what would you choose in your own would you rather?
I would probably go with the sandpaper hands. I work in a factory, and if you've ever been in a factory bathroom, oh my lord, it's bad enough just going in now. You got 4 or 5 stalls in there, and 10 guys trying to wait for it, and whew, it gets rough.
All right, we have Giga's. Would you rather here, Giga? What do you got?
All right, would you rather wear wet socks for the rest of your life, or only be able to wash your hair once per year?
Oh man, that's a good one. Wet socks. Oh jeez, every day?
Every day.
They're just wet like your drawers, like a fish tank. You just pull them out of a fish tank and slop them on.
They're wet. I don't know about drenched, but wet.
Or only your hair once per year. Only wash your hair?
Only wash your hair once per year.
I would have to go wash my hair only once per year. I'm going bald, so it really wouldn't matter much for too much longer.
Yeah,
Unfortunately. Go ahead.
I'd go the once a year thing too. I live in the Great White North, so wet socks wouldn't do good in the winter here. So I keep my hair cut short anyways usually. So
Is that a valid? If I just shave my head, Giga, is that?
No, you can't just shave your head. You gotta have hair.
I gotta have hair if I have it.
just cut it really short.
If you cut it short, your socks automatically get wet.
I guess I would have wet socks. I don't know. That's terrible. Oh, horrible. That everybody. OG, what do you got?
I've worked with socks. That's not happening. I'll go with the hair thing. Even if I have dreadlocks, dreads are nasty anyway. Who cares if you don't wash them?
Oh man. All right. I think that is the end of episode 61. Thank you everyone for coming out, and everybody have a good night. Yeah, we wrapped it up quick.
An hour and 30 minutes. Usually these things take like 3 hours.
Real short. Real good.
Bo's not here, you know.
Yeah. His chin waggers. The chin waggers, Esme and Foe weren't here to slow us down. All right. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right.
And we'll see
you. Can reach the show by email at ratedark@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at ratedark on Twitter. You can grab our RSS feed, get our show notes, and apply to join us in-game at ratedark.podbean.com.
That's a damn banana show. Bananas.